Hello and welcome to Big Scott 35 Saturday Chat. Sorry, I'm laughing. This is my second try. Hopefully, it can be as energetic as I was on the first one. My sound was all screwed up, so doing it again. So where was I? This is going to be the week there was. Tell you where my goals are, and then Saturday. Chad on a little info setting us up for Sunday night. Let's talk. So, week there was Sunday night. I thought was an awesome talk about box values, different ways to look at the values, prices. Kind of it's a breaker's world right now with the boxes, all that stuff. So, it was very good, very entertaining, very interactive with the chat. Loved it. Great night. Great turnout too, and I want to thank y'all for that. Monday with my dad, starting to think about the playoffs. Great chat with him. My dad's insight is awesome. For him not being a world-renowned baseball guy, he has some great insight, and I just like to set him up and listen to him talk, and it's great. So that Wednesday SGC reveal, I felt like I had some bangers in there, and I'm not talking like tens. I'm talking about just loved pre-war vintage cards. Just loved it, and I had some nice modern stuff that I'm selling. Nice stack. Talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And on my other channel, I did have a CGC reveal, which I posted in my community board. If you want to check that out. And I guess that leads us here today. And today I went to a card show. Went and picked up this poster behind me for $10. Subway Series, which Mets did lose, but very entertaining. My man Piazza up there. And I did get a nice little stack of cards. Only go there. Did my $200. That's where it was at. I did pick up some non-sport as well, because that card show I would say was leaning more to TCG and non-sport today than it was to actual sports cards. If not, it was pretty much right down the middle, 50-50. You had a couple of comic book vendors. You had some people selling some, seems like the dried candy is the way to go, and whatever it's called, which I've gotten before, and it just doesn't taste like anything to me. I just think it's a waste. And then some people selling different tchotchkes and stuff. So it was a vendor there selling protective stuff, which first time I've seen that at this show. This was a show that was out at the ballpark underneath, so it's not my favorite venue for it. I was kind of on the fence on going or not, but it's literally 5 minutes away from me. I mean, if it takes me 5 minutes because I hit every light. So I was there for a couple hours. They're underneath. It's underneath the upper deck, in the walkway there. That field doesn't have the biggest walkway, so when they try to put tables on the outside and then more, I don't think it's enough room. Especially when I left at a little after 11, it was really crowded. I got out of there. I was happy for them. Awesome turnout. Again, they filled up 2 or 3 parking lots, and people were steady coming in when I left at a little after 11. I couldn't get a real good vibe. It wasn't hardly any. I didn't see any pre-war or not much vintage. Handful of vintage, and that's what I go to when I go to a card show. That's what I'm looking for to buy in person. or to find some stuff I really don't find. And I bought half of that stack, most of that stack, I should say, is I was getting a bulk deal to buy a Batman pop and these cards just to get it all down cheaper. And he actually had some cards that I liked. And then I picked up a couple of singles from different people. Because I do a lap, seeing what's there, and if there's something that I can't find readily, I'll go back. I picked up a Pete Alonso auto out of 25 at a good price, and then I got a Gary Carter memorabilia immaculate card out of 49. So I see those on eBay, but I got very good deals on them, and felt pretty good. And after that, I went for about 2 hours, drove for about 2 hours, just hitting secondhand stores and antique stores, kind of looking for sports stuff like games or figures or cards, anything that that fits my collection. I look for unique stuff when I do that, and also stuff for my other hobbies, video games, Star Wars, stuff like that. So I did pick up a Pete Alonso pop that I did not have, that I was going to pick up like 3 or 4. Shoot, it might have been the return to Chicago after COVID, and I saw this and I forgot to go back and get it. But I knew I'd run into it sooner or later, and it's taking this long, but I got it. So I was happy with that. I got it very cheap at a secondary store, so happy with that. But that's kind of like when I'm off on a weekend, which has been rare. I like a beautiful day. Just kind of want to go and do stuff like that. Be outside, go walking, get my steps in. If I see something I like and I can afford it, I try to pick it up. If not, move on. So that's kind of what I did today. The show, it was all right. But I think they're going to be in Greensboro at that baseball park, which I went to last night to watch a game. I met up with Natsman, and he invited me. His company has a suite there, so I went to a game with them. Awesome people. Thank them very much for having me, fed me. So good hangout. Nice, beautiful. First time I've been at ballpark. Beautiful ballpark. Built right into the old part of the city where they've done some new work. Right beside Greensboro, UNC Greensboro. You throw a rock from the campus to the ballpark. Beautiful spot. Beautiful spot. So they're going to do one there. And it's a bigger, wider venue, and I kind of want to go there next month just to see how it's set up, seeing if the vending is any different, if it's a little bit more baseball there. I don't know it, but they're set up. They love that their whole thing is Pokemon and sports, and that's fine. I mean, it's kind of the vibe now. I think when you say you collect cards, I have to explain to people I do not do TCG as a kind of a rule, but I'm starting to get more and more into it. I bought some Assassin's Creed Magic the Gathering cards today, so who knows? I might get into it. I've been buying the Disney TCG cards as well, so I don't play the games, but I like collecting the cards. And that's about it today. And then, let me talk about what I want to talk about today, and going in what we're going to talk about, or I'll talk about whoever comes on tomorrow night. So to continue on with like pricing and value and all that stuff, I feel like the hobby's dead. Long live the hobby, right? That's the way I feel. So what do I mean by that? I feel like old school hobbying is pretty much a done deal. It's gone. buying packs at the supermarket in the line, ripping them for a quarter, 50 cent, keeping them, making teams, uh, putting rubber bands around them, uh, trading with your friends in the floor, not worrying about if it's, one was $1 and the other one was $1. Um, I feel like those days are gone. It feels like now somebody's always got to win, and then they got to brag about winning, and then they move on. I don't know how many times have I been asked, is this how many times have I owned a card? It's just the first time I've owned one. Yes, and it'll be the only time because I don't know any other way. But I'm starting to learn. I am learning. So for me, I have started selling a little bit more, embraced that side of it. I have gotten rid of a third of my cards already in different ways, trying to get rid of another third, and then keeping a third. Um, they sitting in boxes. They don't really mean much to me. The way I look at cards now has really changed for me over the past 5, 6 years. Um, Last year at the National was a wake up call for me at buying boxes. Uh, the fun was gone for opening. The entertainment was not there for the value. The value I'm talking about is entertainment value, because when you're opening it and you spend that much, you want a little bit better than one like refractor, or whatever out of a box. And when you're seeing 6, 7 boxes being opened in a room and everybody is just not happy, it changed. And I was like, why spend $250 on a box I could have bought how many Pete Alonso? I could have got 2 Pete Alonso autographs, or maybe 3, or could have got a rookie that I've been looking for. So that really changed my mindset. And I think, this National really proved that even more. You went downstairs in the basement where the VIP room was. There was cards everywhere, and it didn't matter. It was vintage, it was modern, it was football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball, women's soccer, men's soccer, uh, boxing. It did not matter. UFC, it was all down there. It was a show inside the show. And people paid VIP tickets so they could sit down there and sell cards. I don't even think they went upstairs. There was people that sat there the whole time. That just blows my mind. So the way I feel, my hobby style is dead. My old hobby style. Is it for everybody? No, I'm sure there's people out there that still hobby that way, and they always will. Um, I've moved on, so I'm not saying this is for everybody, because I've always said the hobby is only dead to you, right? It can't be dead to everybody. If somebody tells me the hobby's dead, that means they're having a bad time selling cards. That's the way I feel. The hobby's dying. Oh, because your card prices went down. When I sell cards, I'm just trying to sell them to get rid of them. I'm not trying to make $1 million. I don't have to win every time. I'm just getting rid of them. Now, am I just handing them out? Some I have. Some I have. I make a stack over here when I come across them. If I know somebody likes that player or whatever, I'll, send it to them, whatever. But I just want to sell them and get rid of them, and hopefully they go to collectors eventually. But if people are, when Jazz Chisenhall went to uh, the Yankees and did really well, a bunch of those went out of my sports lot store. I knew what was going on. They were flipping them. Okay, great, good for you. I don't have them in my collection. They're out of my boxes, and that's where I'm at. And I could take that money and put it in my account. If it buys cards, it buys cards. If it pays a bill, it pays a bill. But I don't have those cards in my collection anymore. And that's kind of where I'm at, and that's the way I feel. I've really seen this, Mike O shared a message in our group where this person wrote, uh, he did SGC reveal that had my cards, East Coast or East Connecticut sports cards. It had Midlife Card Crisis, and they were sitting there saying this was the most mediocre reveal they've ever seen. Why would you, get some of those cards great? Why would you get those cards graded? And to that, I say, sorry, you missed the boat on what the hobby is. So right there tells you it's all about value to most people now in the hobby. Of course, I don't want my cards to be nothing, but I've said it before. My cards to me are worth everything, and your cards to me are worthless because I don't want them. I want my cards. I want my cards. Now, do I wish I had some of people's cards? Yeah, sure, but they're your cards. I love my collection. If I want to get that card, I'll save up and get that card, or sell something, or whatever. Or a lot of them I would already had if I wanted them. But I like my collection, right? And that's the way it should be. And I want to really talk about this tomorrow night. So bring your comments, suggestions. We had a great conversation last week. Zach, please come back, and all of y'all come back and let's have this discussion, about this, because I want to end it on this. When does hobby turn into a job? Do you have to quit your other job? Is it making money at it? Is it grinding it out? Because I feel like a lot of people have turned their hobby into a secondary job almost. That's including one of my friends, but he enjoys it. So it's part of his hobby. So to him, it's part of a hobby. When I look at it, it feels like a job. It exhausts me watching it. So, I don't know. I want my hobby to be relaxing while I'm watching sports or TV shows. I'm sorting cards or playing a video game. I don't want it to be a job. I got a job. It's stressful enough. Hell, I got stuff blowing up and everything else. I don't need stuff like this to be a stress too. I just sell some cards, try to make people happy with them, and because I get happy when I buy cards, even though I wasn't ecstatic at that card show today, at least I was happy with the cards I got and cards I saw. Talked to some people. People were generally happy there, so it wasn't a negative vibe at all. And I sat there and stared at the baseball field, an empty stadium, beautiful field, there water in it. It was just kind of heaven for me. If you wanted to find heaven for me, that would be it. So that's it for me. Please bring your knowledge tomorrow. Let's talk about it. Until then, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see ya.